Hey, what's up, guys? So last week I made a video on taking or not taking things personally in order to ensure you're more in control of your emotions and your happiness. And today I wanted to go a little bit deeper and talk about how we can kind of ensure that we're doing that. The focus of my chat today is going to be on assumptions. Now, I'm talking about both making assumptions as well as leaving things up for assumption. All right. Understanding how to control this and how to not make assumptions or leave things up to assumptions can help you. It can help your communication in just about every aspect of life, but specifically relationships. That we're talking spousal relationships, work, friendships, business partners, you name it. Anything where the relationship relies on communication, it is essential that you do not leave things to be assumed or make assumptions yourself if you want a good working relationship through that communication. And now what I mean by this is making assumptions, it can be a matter of different things, but essentially what I'm talking about is creating your own reason or your own perception of somebody else's intent or their motives behind why they say or do something. Or if you're the one leaving things up for assumption, is not being clear with your intent or your motive as to why you're saying or doing something. Right now, there's many examples of this. I'll give some of my personal examples, but you can probably think of some times where this has happened in your life and it's caused some sort of disconnect in communication, maybe even led to an argument or a fight, and it all could have been avoided by getting rid of the assumption in the communication, right? I'll use an example that myself and my wife have occasionally, which is probably very common in relationships. In a relationship, there's two people with needs, right? And part of getting our needs filled, while most of it comes from us fulfilling our own needs, whether we know it or not, part of it does come from our partner fulfilling our needs. And the best way to fulfill your needs through your partner is, one, make sure that your needs are clear when you're speaking to them, right? So for example, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you want more help around the house with household chores, telling your husband, hey, I would like a little bit more help around the house, is very vague, right? So you're leaving it up to his assumption as to what he should do to help you. He could come home and take out the trash every day and think he's doing a damn good job of helping you around the house, whereas you probably more specifically wanted him to take the kids away from you so you can get some alone time, or wash the dishes, or do the laundry, or do something in particular. But you didn't really you didn't really make it clear to him. You left it up to his perception as to how he was to help you. He assumed that he was helping you out, right? That is not keeping things clear, or that is not making things clear and concise so that your partner fully understands what you want. If you want your partner to help in assuring your happiness, even though I truly believe it's all in our controls, but if you do want your partner to help with that, try to be as specific as possible. Hey, honey, would you mind doing the dishes 3 days a week? Or would you mind taking the kids primarily from 4 to 6 p.m. after work every day so I can get a little bit of a break, right? That way, if he does that every single day and you're still upset, you know that that wasn't what was making you unhappy. But you know that he's also willing to help you, right? Now, on the flip side, if you're the husband who wants to help out with the wife and she's asking, hey, can you help out around the house? And you start taking out the trash every day and it's not enough. So you're learning that, hey, maybe even though I'm being helpful, it's not exactly what she wants. Next time your wife asks you for something, gain that clarity. Make sure you know exactly what she's talking about. So you can say, yes, honey, I would love to help you out. How exactly can I help you? What can I do to help you? These are very simple communicative terms that can clear up that assumption so that one partner is not having their needs not met by not being clear about it, or the other partner is not failing to meet those needs by not gaining clarity. It's very, very common in relationships, because I see it in my own relationship, I see it in other relationships, where things can be cleared up by a simple question. Yes, what would you like me to do exactly? Or what do you need from me? Or, hey, can you do A, B, and C for me? Because that would greatly help, right? That's in a spousal relationship, and I think it causes a lot of problems that husbands and wives, essentially boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever, think that the other person should kind of take a hint or read their minds. Well, let me tell you that giving hints is not a good way to ensure your happiness. Expecting somebody to read your mind and to know what you want and take the initiative to help you is not good at ensuring your happiness. Being direct with somebody and giving them the option to either A or fail with clear and concise standards is a good way to ensure your happiness. So when you're communicating with anybody in a relationship, whether it be your spouse, whether it be a business partner, be clear, right? And then if you're the one who is looking to help, or you're the one who is looking to deliver something, whether it's those needs being met, make sure that things are clear. It takes a second and a half to do in the beginning of the conversation, and it will prevent a lot of frustrations, right? Another one is, it kind of ties back to what I talked about, taking things personally, is say you have an employer, and I'm going to say this because I have a lot of people under my responsibility, so I communicate things to a lot of people at times. More often than not, I'll send out like a group message, or I'll send out like a policy change, and one person might take that personally. So they might say, oh, that was directed at me, right? They're assuming my intentions or my motives were to attack them. So if I'm taking my own advice and I'm communicating to a large group of people, it would be very intelligent for me to say, hey, this has been a reoccurring problem with multiple people. I would like it fixed. That way, at least somebody else knows, okay, it's not just me. Or, hey, this has been something that has been happening. It's not anybody in particular doing it, but I've noticed it a few times, and I'm just asking that we collectively stop this issue, right? So that is me setting the intent. That is me creating clarity from the beginning. Now, if you're the person who took it personally and you think you're being attacked, how hard is it to go up to your boss and be like, hey, were you referring to me when you said that? And they may say, yeah, right? If you're breaking a policy and they let you know, hey, yeah, you broke this policy, I don't want it to happen again. If you're in the wrong, own up to it. Be like, okay, I'm sorry. Either A, I didn't know that was a policy. B, hey, I wasn't paying attention. I will make sure it happens again, right? But own up to it and try not to assume that you're just being attacked, okay? Because I'm sure that the boss or whoever's responsible for all these people doesn't have a personal vendetta for everybody. They're just trying to make order and unity. They're trying to create order and unity within the workspace so that there can be little problems, okay? The other thing is, if you ask him, hey, was that directed towards me personally? And it was directed towards you personally, but they don't have the integrity or the courage to tell you, then that's their problem. They get to deal with that in the back of their head, man. I was confronted by one of my employees and I didn't have the freaking nutsack to tell him that he was the problem. So long as you're doing your due diligence to clear it up, you're getting the answer you need. You're either getting a no, it was not you and you can feel good about yourself, or yes, it was you and you need to fix it, or now the problem is left in somebody else's lap. You're under the impression that it wasn't you and they have to feel bad about doing that, right? So basically, what I'm getting to in this video is very simple, very, very simple principles, is to not assume that you know what's going on in somebody else's head unless you ask. And it is honestly not that scary. It's not that challenging to ask somebody, hey, can you explain to me what you meant? Or did you mean this? Was this directed towards me? Once you get that answer, I promise you're going to be a lot less frustrated. But if you go on with this story that you've made up in your head about why that person said something or why that person did something, and you take it as a personal attack, whether you know if it was truly personal or not, now you're going to be in a negative energy. And that is why I say that we essentially control our emotions and control our happiness by not allowing assumptions to be present. You don't have to be the one speaking or doing something for it to be an assumption, because you can assume their intention or motive. You don't have to be the one receiving the information for it to be an assumption, because you're not finding clarity on their intentions. But the person who is speaking or delivering should also not assume that everybody understands what they're talking about, and they should create a clear and concise way of delivering the communication. So keep this in the back of your head, practice it. I think it will truly benefit a lot of people. It's something that I have been practicing for a while now, and I have noticed that I'm a lot happier, either A, knowing the facts, or B, not worrying about somebody else's problem because of what I think is going on in their head. Hope this helps, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, DM me, reach out, whatever. I'm more than happy to talk about this more in depth. If you want to set up a phone call or whatever, I'm always here, but thank you for watching.